Welcome back to Mac Talks Football, and Arsenal have won their first game in the Champions League, defeating Athletic Club at San Mamés 2-0, and it was a really good game of football. So let's get into it. I went for a 2-1 win for Arsenal. I said that it was not going to be an easy game for the Gunners. I know how good Athletic Club are, how how they play. Their pressing is really good, and they have been amazing. The start of the season has been really good. So I expected a tough game for Arsenal, but if I'm being very honest with you, Athletic Club exceeded my expectation with the way that they played. I mean, they literally they put Arsenal, pushed Arsenal to the back foot. Arsenal were not really able to play their game in that first half. It was really hard for them, especially in the first 20 to 25 minutes. It was all Athletic Club, and they were the ones creating chances. The unfortunate thing for Athletic Club was they were not really able to finish off their chances. I mean, the final third, they were not really able to do anything. There was they did not really create that many chances that that would have really hurt Arsenal, that it would have, that tested Raya that much. Apart from that, I think they were really good. The way that they pressed Arsenal, as I said, they made it hard for Arsenal to play their football. Arsenal came, in that second period of the first half, they came back, they started playing their good football, and they started creating chances. But again, just like Athletic Club, in my opinion, the first half, they were not really able to do that. I think Gyökeres had a couple of good chances, where he came close. I think Madueke again had a really good game on that right hand side, where he took the game to Athletic Club. I think at the left back, unfortunately I forgot his name. I think that was a really good battle between Madueke and the Athletic left back, the one who got taken off at 60 minutes. I cannot believe I forgotten his name. I think that was a really good battle. Both of them had a really good game. And Madueke, as I said, he came close a couple of times. Simon had to make a save from Madueke as well. So it was quite a competitive first half. And both, in my opinion, I think deservedly so went to the break at 0-0. Second half comes in, and Athletic played much better. Again, the start of the second half, they played much better as compared to the first half, and they kept getting closer and closer. But again, the main problem for them was they really did not have that final ball. They were not really able to create that a killing pass, or they were not really able to make that a killing a move that would have been would have resulted in them scoring the goal. And the more the game was at 0-0, it gave Arsenal the chance to and I'm not taking anything Arsenal away from Arsenal. I think Arsenal played really good. They were smart enough. They realized Athletics game plan, and they defended very well. Whenever there was pressure from Athletic Club, Arsenal defended well. It was it was a game so where none of the teams were really able to hold possession for too long. 5 minutes it would be Athletic Club, then 5 minutes would be Arsenal, and in the first half, as I said, the first 20-25 minutes were for Athletic Club, and the second half of the first half belonged to Arsenal. And the second half started just like that, and Athletic Club were really up for it in the first 10 to 15 minutes, and then Arsenal started to get into the game, and then you started seeing Arsenal create those chances and kept getting closer and closer. And you have to give it to Mikel Arteta. He makes those changes, and I was quite surprised. I'm not gonna deny when Gyökeres went off. I understand it was because of an injury, but taking him quite early on, it was surprising. And the way that I personally thought when he went off, maybe Marino is gonna come in as the striker, and Trossard is gonna go left, and as is gonna play as the number 10. I thought that was gonna happen, but it did not happen. And then he makes that second change. And he brings in a Martinelli, an instant impact from Martinelli again. He has done it this time and time again, scoring in those big opportunities, big game player, and Arsenal really needed that, and Martinelli needed it. I'm really happy that he ended up scoring. I mean, the touch, to get the first the ball comes in, he had it, and then the second touch, to take the ball away from the defender and to make that run. That second touch was everything. That was so good from Martinelli, and then he makes it, and of course he scores the goal. Underneath the goalkeeper makes it 1-0, and that completely changes the complexion of the game. Arsenal take the lead, and you could just see how happy he was and how happy the other teammates were. Everybody just coming in and hugging him, and Calafiori pointing at his name. It was really beautiful to watch. And as I said, it just changed the complexion of the game. It becomes a 1-0 to Arsenal, and then Athletic Club are under more pressure. Now they have to go out and they have to go ahead and score that. They try to get an equalizer, and in that they leave the spaces behind, and then Arsenal hit them on the counter attack, and this time Martinelli turns the provided. And again, you have to give credit to Trossard. He sees, he gets the ball, he waits, and then he takes a shot. Has a bit of a deflection, but goes in the back of the net. It becomes a 2-0 to Arsenal, and that was game done and dusted. And I would say, Arsenal were, I'm not going to say they were much better. I think it was a 55 to 45% performance. At the end of the day, in my opinion, Arsenal were able to take their chances, and Athletic Club were not able to really take their chances. And that was basically, what defined the game. That is that settled the game, because that Arsenal took their chances and Athletic Club were not really able to take their chances. Apart from that, I think both the teams were basically the same. I would give huge credit to Valverde and his team, the way that they took the game to Arsenal. Probably one of the pre-tournament favorites, and Athletic Club coming back into the competition after about a decade, and the way that they played, and the way the fans, I mean, the atmosphere in that stadium, it was so good. You have to give it to the fans, Athletic fans. It was an amazing atmosphere. This is why you love the Champions League. You love these European nights. As a club, as a football fan, you want to go to places, you want to see atmosphere like that, and and I would say that a team responded brilliantly as well. They ended up losing the game, but everybody expected them to lose that game. But the way that they played, the way that they performed, their performance was of on top level. And I would not be surprised. I've said this before as well, and I will say it again. I would not be surprised if they end up coming in the top 8 and they end up qualifying. If they end up qualifying, they get into the next round, which I think they are going to do. They are going to be a very tough opponent in those knockout phases, because on their day they can go out and they can surprise everybody and they can defeat anybody, and they are going to be a very tough side at Athletic Club. So a huge respect to them and the way that they played. And it's not surprising for me. I said this in my prediction video, the way that they've started in La Liga, the way that they are playing, it is really good to watch. It's an unfortunate thing that there's so much a difference in revenue in La Liga, what Real Madrid and Barcelona have and what these other clubs have, because if they don't, I think Athletic Club have a really good chance of to go ahead and compete even for the title. They came fourth last year as well, and at one point they were just 9 points away from the top 3, so they, it's not like they are very far away. And this season, again, as I said, they've started brilliantly, and the way that they played today as well, I think they are going to have a great season. Again, a huge respect to them. Arsenal, on the other hand, a much needed win. I mean, they had to start their Champions League campaign with a win, and they would be really happy with the performance, going away to a tough Spanish side, and taking that feeling, taking the pressure and taking the chances, and having to defend all of that, playing with the crowd, the way the crowd was pumped up and up for it, and to get rid of to handle that pressure early on, and then to play their game and to get the goals. I think that they would be really happy, and Arteta would be happy. And one thing that every Arsenal fan knew and every Arsenal fan wanted was a depth in the squad. I mean, we played that Champions League against PSG with literally no striker, and now we are able to get rid to sub our 50 million striker, and we have players coming in. And like when Martinelli came in, when Trossard came in, like Arsenal fans were not really scared, like they were not really bummed out, or we were not really like, we don't have anybody. We were like, okay, we can still go ahead and score, and that's what the depth has done to Arsenal. And I think that could be the real factor that might help Arsenal to go into forward and maybe win this year, not be the semi-finalists like last year, and go ahead and might win the competition as well. A great performance from Arsenal as well, getting the all-important 3 points, the first game of the season. You need to win this, get the points early on the board, and start with the season with a win, and they have done that. Great performance from Bilbao, great performance from Arsenal, but Arsenal ended up getting the result, so I'm really happy. Let me know what you guys thought of the game in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 600 subscribers as soon as possible, so please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. Until next time, bye bye.